On this week's episode of Marketing O'Clock,
we finally get AI performance data in search from Microsoft.
ChatGPT says agents see you later.
And it's Valentine's Day, but we are not loving Google's new AI mode ads.
All on today's show.
Welcome, you are listening to Marketing O'Clock. Just stay tuned. Digital marketing news, but let's get specific. Digital ads, SEO and analytics, social media and more. Pretty much everything that'll make your website perform. With new shows every Monday. We give you the news with sass and puns and definitely hot takes. Thank you for tuning in. You know what time it is. It's officially Marketing O'Clock. Settle in, sit back, keep it locked.
Hey there, I'm Christine Zernheld.
AKA Shop.
I'm Gracie Miller.
And I'm Greg Finn.
And it's officially Marketing O'Clock.
Here on February 16th, 2026.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I know, did you
Happy
dress up on
Valentine's.
purpose?
No, I didn't. But I mean, yes, I did.
I was shocked that Gracie didn't dress up.
I even had my sweater. I picked it out. It was a red sweater, and I forgot.
But
See,
maybe, is this a President's Day outfit? Or
I don't picture
Abraham
you
Lincoln?
I don't picture you as a Valentine's Day gal.
I don't know. I feel like it's like a Hallmark holiday. Everyone says it. But I've had a few calls this morning, and everyone's been talking about the Wegmans Valentine's setup. I guess they went crazy. So I'm going there after work.
Oh.
All right, guys. So I am maybe entering my non-natty era here. I've had a lagging shoulder injury that, because I do hard things, Shop, as you heard last week.
I'm rolling my eyes for the audio listeners.
And my shoulder has been hurting, and I do not want to get surgery on this shoulder. And I think,
Surgery?
yeah,
Oh my
Have you tried an
God.
ice pack?
it's not that. So I'm looking into alternatives, and there are peptides which can help you regenerate faster. And so there's gray market peptides that you kind of are for like scientific use and not for human use, but they work really well on humans. And then you can go to a doctor and get peptides. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the doctor version. So I look up online and I find somebody named Igor, and they're in the area. And I'm like, perfect. I can do this the right way. I'm not going gray market. I'm not putting for testing use only into me. I get a call, I schedule a call, and he calls me, and I'm like, hey, I've got a shoulder injury.
Please tell me he was Italian and the doctor's real name was Frankenstein.
No, he was definitely not Italian. His name was Igor. He all of a sudden, and I say, hey, I'm wondering if this would help me with my affliction, my horrible affliction from doing the hardest things.
And did you say peptides?
Yeah, and I said I was interested in BPC 157.
PPC?
BPC.
No.
And so he immediately is like, what you need is this stack of 4 different peptides. It's called the Wolverine blend because it makes you regenerate faster like Logan with the anthemanium or whatever it is. I'm not like a huge comic fan.
You bought it, didn't you?
So I'm like trying to get some information as to what this is, right? And I'm kind of just want to like walk and then run and turn into like some write it out freak. But I'm like, I want just thing to fix my shoulder. I don't need like, and so I look into one is like, hey, this is for your hair and for your skin. The other one is like for immediate like regeneration of cells and stuff. And then I just get a text. He's like, I can have it for you Friday. So here is the text that I got from my doctor.
There's no
He's
way
not a
this man is a doctor. BPC 157 by itself, $234 a month. BPC 157 TB 500. He's a drug dealer.
420 altogether.
420 altogether. He's a drug dealer.
So I looked up all these things, and these things seem like I'm just going to like regenerate. Like my hair is going to be fuller. My skin's going to be more shiny even than I could ever be with beef tallow. So I'm like entering my new era.
You're literally like a lady, okay? This is what they do to you when you go to the spa and they upcharge you.
No, I'm not going to go full Wolverine blend off the jump.
What are you starting with?
I think just the BPC 157.
He says that like we know what it is.
It's just for like localized fixing of tendons.
So you are going to try it?
100%.
From Igor?
Yeah, and he's like, you got to put it in your fridge and then you got to inject it. And blah, blah, blah.
Oh, it's not like a pill?
No, it's an
Do you
injectable.
inject it into your
Oh.
shoulder?
Yes.
Greg, this is just hard for me as someone. Do you know what a hard thing is for me right now? Rolling over in bed. Cry me a river. Your
But
shoulder, take a break. Don't work out for one day. It'll be better.
but like this morning, I was doing hard things and I was doing all these snatches and my shoulder hurt. I was doing all these snatches.
So
I was
stop.
doing wall
Listen to your
walks.
body. Stop.
I was doing handstand push-ups and my shoulder hurts.
Wait, were you?
Yeah, do you want to say handstand push-up?
Yeah.
Phone.
Oh!
It's against a wall. Oh, please. I used,
Handstand
to,
push-ups are hard.
I used to be able to walk on my hands back
That's
in the
a
day.
strict handstand push-up.
I'm sorry, Greg.
And I already did like
Are you sure
50
your
of them
shoulder
today.
hurts? You just jumped up and did that. Very
You want
fast.
us to be proud of you for doing a handstand push-up and then you say gymnastics isn't a sport?
Oh.
I cannot with you.
That's a different topic.
Try getting up to pee when you're me in the middle of the night.
You know what?
And your back locks up.
I'll give you Igor's number and maybe you can get that Wolverine blend and that'll help shut.
And my
him down.
baby will come out green.
Oh God.
And if you want to get more green as well, more dollars, more moolah in your bank account, we here offer a free audit of your PPC account. You can head on over to Marketing and Clock, go to the contact, and you get a free audit from myself. I open your account up, look at it for about 30 minutes, send you a loom, and try to get you the most possible value that we can in 30 minutes. And we also keep it entertaining. I make a bunch of jokes. I just talk out loud. So it's a great way if you're ever looking for any feedback, changes, ideas. We offer it to anybody. So if you want a free 30-minute audit, head on over to Marketing Clock and go to the free audits. And you will absolutely get something out of there of value.
First up in the news this week, Vidya Srivasanan, the VP of Ads and Commerce over at Google, posted on X basically announcing a new ad type for AI mode. Is this the first time they've ever had anything e-commerce?
Can I pause you there?
Yeah.
Because the wording was an ad feature. This press release, and I talked about it and it's new, is the worst one they've ever done.
In her tweet, she says ad format.
Ad format. They call it feature format, but that's not an ad type.
There isn't like AI ad types that you can set up. So it's going to show your shopping ad in this way, right?
No, it's not a shopping ad. This is not a shopping ad. This is not a standard PLA where you have your own image, your own title, your price underneath it. This is absolutely not that. It's a product with a title that Google chooses, at least in this example. Then there's a description that looks like it's sort of a AI blended mix of descriptions of the product. And then in this case, you are literally a logo and a price.
Mm-hmm.
That to me seems like it's the new ad format,
Yeah.
is that you just basically are distilled down to your name and your price, which I think is awful. Because you're going to get to it in the ICYMI later today that you can do a lot with your PLAs. You can do a lot with your ads.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we like put a lot of pride in with our clients is we'll have clients that sell specific products and everybody just shows this big case, this big cardboard case. And that's what every other retailer does. And we worked with them and we said, we need better visuals so we get a higher click-through rate and we get a lower CPC and we have better results. And now they take what is inside the box, put it in the front, this box within this case, and they showcase that. So we work with people to get the best possible product shots. But in this case, it seems like the ad format is just your name and your price underneath whatever Google has as the recommendation there. You don't have your own image. You don't have your own title. You don't have your own things,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is weird.
This person specifically is asking for high quality, affordable headphones that they should buy for their commute. They call out like certain features that they want. And the top recommendation is Anchor Soundcore Space, one true wireless noise canceling headphones, whatever. And then below that is just sponsored Target logo, $99.
B&H 98.
And then that one says 60-day return. So there's like little call outs underneath or something. But if they asked what's the best price for Anchor Soundcore Space true wireless headphones, like maybe that would be an okay ad. But they're like looking for options and there's only one.
But the title and the description and the image is not within that sponsored.
Right.
So my assumption is that is an actual result from Google. And then your sponsored new whatever ad format. I freaking dare you to read this press release. Whoever's listening right now, to try to read what Google put out. It is absolute nonsense. I said it on It's New. I don't know if the people in Google's PR team know how to read or know how to write. Like, I think that might be the criteria they hire on. It's like, can you read? You're out.
They're using Gemini.
Well, then this is the
AI.
most like damning thing of Gemini. Like we talked about last week, the report builder in Google Ads is the worst thing ever. And it's like, you could do so great. You're a price. In this case, who's going to click on B&H? Actually $99.99. Target's $99. It is 10% higher. You're not going to get clicks.
I click on Target.
I would also click. I was just going to say that. I don't even know what B&H is. I would click on Target
It's
because
maybe
I know
the biggest
Target.
photography website out there.
Oh, well, I would
What are
click
they
on
doing with
Target.
these headphones?
They sell all sorts of technical stuff.
Even if
They're
I
very
think,
good.
even if Target was like a little more expensive, I think I would still click on Target.
Because it's first or because it's Target?
Just because I feel like it's more, I mean, for me, it's more well known.
You got that buy online.
So then
pick up
you've
in
got
store.
that impulse. Someone sees that just your logo and image. Maybe they never heard of you.
Maybe I'm old school, but like, I think if you're trying to make the best AI product and you're actually trying to surface usable information for your users, Google, which is what you say all the time to webmasters, that if you have an actual product there, you've got this great repository of shopping. You should list them all out there. You should just do that.
Mm-hmm.
They should just be doing that.
This person is asking for options and there's no options. It's just the retailer that they can buy the same headphones from.
They want to make the decision for them.
Yeah.
They don't want them to think.
I don't know. This is just, I hate this. I hate everything about the press release. There's no information. If you read it, you literally lose IQ points. It's the dumbest thing ever. And then the ad format of don't even have any information about what it is. It's just this one stupid GIF. I couldn't hate something more.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Next up in the main news, Asad Awan, who is in charge of monetization of OpenAI, was in an interview and discussed how he would like to see advertisers simply prompt to create ads and ad campaigns and not have to hire an agency or a performance marketer to run ads on ChatGPT. This is a hot take.
I don't think it's that hot.
What? I think it's bad.
Okay.
It's spicy.
I'm not surprised by it, that it's his take, but I don't like it.
Oh, this is the least surprising thing I've,
Oh.
my texts from Igor were way more
Yeah.
He's an AI guy. He thinks AI should take everybody's job.
Yeah, that's true.
So he doesn't want people, he thinks that people shouldn't hire agencies or
Yeah.
internal performance marketers, and that can be as easy to run ads so you can just put in your prompts, get your ads, and be gone.
He doesn't want to use people like us.
He calls performance marketers expensive. It's like,
But we're the ones making sure that
Because
your
it's
ad dollars
hard.
are going to the right places.
So that's the reason it's not shocking to me in the least bit is if Mark Zuckerberg at one point is like, you will just tell us what your budget is and we will spend it for you. And it's like, I know how that plays out.
Yeah.
Google is the same way. They launched Performance Max to try to push everybody in Performance Max. I talked about a few weeks back. It's a pretty flawed product in many ways. All of these ad platforms, if you gave them truth serum, would say the same thing. And most of them do. Is that, yes, it does cost money to hire a performance marketer, but they should be providing value. And yes, it does take money to hire an agency, and you should be making sure you're getting value out of that agency. There's no secret as to why Google stock price went up, and they had the highest revenue from search, highest revenue from YouTube, highest revenue all over the place. They're working to get your money. If you look at even just recommendations, the optimization score, people ran articles saying, I applied every recommendation possible and my account now stinks. You look at those recommendations, they're bad. There is only a raised budget. There is not a lower budget, which means the recommendations aren't real.
yeah.
You can't trust these companies that are beholden. And yes, I said the word beholden, and I know people aren't coming at me. I'm going to get DMs from people, but your job is to make money for your company. And yes, many things, many features, especially on the Google side, especially on the Microsoft advertising side, Meta not so much, they're coming out with better features for people. But to say that you can just have like one click, put in your prompt and get the most value back, it does not work that way. It just doesn't. And then there's so much more nuance to everything. If you've got a big product catalog, guess what? What is the number one way to get sales is probably to go towards one product, but you were trying to sell everything. There's so much that goes into everything that you can't just look at it like this. And the thought of being like, we're so great that you can just do this, it's just not rooted in reality for people that care about performance. If you're like Pepsi or Coca-Cola, sure, run this and be like, I'm trying to get in front of these people and whatever, and I don't care. I'm just trying to get my name out there. But if you actually care about performance, you should be making sure that you're making more money with your performance marketers in-house or with your agency, and that they're providing value. Because I will say, everything that comes out, you can say whatever you want as an ad platform, but everything that's ever come out speaks so much louder than what you're going to say, like we're in your best interest and everything like that. Google came out with smart campaigns where you just bid for clicks. You couldn't do anything, couldn't change anything. It was the worst campaign type that ever existed. And then Performance Max came out and was super, super flawed. It still leans too much remarketing, but it was all remarketing. It was all brand, all remarketing. It's like, here's the newest element of Google Ads, and it sucked. Now it's good. And now you can use it. But you cannot listen to these ad platforms and be like, yeah, I trust you. I had a monetization at OpenAI.
Well, that's what's sad is because the people who don't know that do trust these.
Your freaking
platforms.
title is head of monetization.
Yeah.
Your goal is monetization. Your goal isn't head of advertising success or advertising performance. You're trying to make as much money as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you can make more money if you cut people out of things than get them, like no S. But at the end of the day, especially like right now, if you use a lot of these platforms the way that they want you to, you're going to see awful, awful, awful results. Shep, do you agree with this?
I absolutely agree. I was worried we weren't even going to have the option to like have any choices. You know?
Yeah.
Like I thought we were going to put in a URL and a credit card. So this is making me think we might have some.
All this stuff is like great for awareness. And I agree if it's awareness and whatever. But when it comes to performance, like if you're taking this stuff, A is not shocking. And B, if you're actually taking this and being like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do what my Google rep says to do, like do what my rep, let me just say rep. You know how Google reps get paid.
Just call them salespeople and
But we talked to Google, they're like, hey, as many people, back when Max Clicks came out, they're like, hey, however many people I talk to, that's how I get paid is my percentage of people that adopt this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I know the Max Clicks sucks. That's what it does. This is what it's made to do, is to suck. Something surprisingly good is that we finally have AI data from search
Wow.
in Bing.
Wow.
But go Bing. Microsoft has been on a tear. I've got a little update there coming soon as well. But what you will be able to see in Bing Webmaster Tools is total citations. So you can see the total number that your site has been cited and displayed as a source in an AI-generated answer during the selected time frame. You can see the average cited pages, so the number of unique pages that you have on your site that are displayed as sources in an AI-generated answer. You can see the grounding queries. There's a little bit of confusion around this, but it's the key phrases the AI used when retrieving content that was referenced in AI-generated answers.
is this just Copilot?
It's Bing. So if it's a Bing AI answer, it should show up.
So that it is Copilot.
I would assume Copilot's in here.
Okay.
But that's my assumption. You can also see page level citation activity. So citation counts for specific URLs, and then visibility trends over time within any AI generated answers and placement rankings and all that. The one thing you can't see, clicks.
Oh.
What?
Unfortunately.
There's probably not a lot, so.
Yeah.
Kudos to Microsoft and to Microsoft Bing Webmaster Tools for including AI data into Webmaster Tools.
Mm-hmm.
And now for this week's
Cool tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners and is really, really cool.
This week's Cool Tool is a cheat sheet full of sweet treats for GA4. Guys, I had to push this
That was
one.
so good.
Really?
Wow.
From GA4 Spy, this is a web-based cheat sheet and reference tool for Google Analytics. It lets you look up individual GA4 metrics and dimensions to see what they're called, how they're used, where they're available, all that jazz. It's always good to have little tips, little cheat sheets like this in your back pocket, so make sure you save it.
Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a #fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you. We simply deliver the take for your consumption. We give no opinions. We don't influence. You make the call.
This week's Take of the Week comes from Cody Nordquist over on Twitter X. And Cody says, the absolute worst thing in paid media right now is that everyone is hell-bent on selling you, quote, the way, end quote, to run meta ads. The correct structure, the bidding strategy, the creative testing framework. But the same structure that prints money for a $10 million supplement brand will completely tank a $2 million fashion brand. Even our own playbooks don't work for every account we touch. The spend level is different. The audience is different. The product economics are different. Stop looking for the right way from someone else's rigid framework. What you really need is to test relentlessly and build a system that works for your brand. Snaps for Cody.
That's not just Meta.
It's for everything.
Yeah. It's for ChatGPT ads too.
Yes.
Don't tell the head of monetization.
And I was talking about it to Anu about AI Max. And she was saying, like, people hate AI Max. I'm like, good, hate it.
Mm-hmm.
It works for certain people.
Yeah.
And we have a brand that is one of the best performing outlets that we have.
AI Max.
AI Max.
Do you know who it is?
No.
It's from the call yesterday.
Oh.
We are able to get a much wider audience, and our in-platform numbers are good. Our MMM numbers for the tool we're using are phenomenal, and it lets us cast a huge wide net for a consumery brand that it goes and finds conversions and is great.
We cannot get it to work in one of my accounts.
And that's
It
fine.
depends on the
that's
account.
Fine. That's the whole point of this. Is like, I cannot stand when everybody's out here being like, buy this, do this. I got the playbook. This is the way to go. No, use your freaking brain.
I mean, at least
Try
test
things.
it. Yeah. At least test it, see if it works. If it doesn't, stop using it.
And I'm going to say this one more time, his final sentence. What you really need is to test relentlessly and build a system that works for your brand. Don't be lazy. Don't buy some stupid playbook or course. Test, try out, figure out what works, and actually put in the work. And be that agency that can provide value over just a prompt.
Now it's time for this week's Pew Pew Lightning Round. At this point in the show, we split up our content into 3 parts: paid, organic, and social.
First up in the paid universe this week, OpenAI announced that they are starting to roll out a test for ads in ChatGPT to a subset of free and go users in the US. As far as I know, nobody's actually seen one. And they say the same thing, they don't influence the answers, they're labeled and visually separate from the responses. So buckle up, people.
They can say what they want
Sorry,
to
this
say.
is better than what we saw from Google. This is better.
The ad format?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like this one.
So this one is a person looking for potluck power tips. I do hate that they're looking for recipe things in ChatGPT, but that's beside the point. And it's an ad for heirloom groceries. There is a sponsor label, and there's a recipe pulling in for an enchilada kit. I don't know if they have control over how that looks. I don't know how it looks on the back end, but I don't hate what I'm seeing so far.
I like it. I told you I like
Okay.
this. You put a product in, you have control of the product, you have control of the title, it seems. You can say things like minute, time, whatever, price, in stock. It looks like you control the picture, which is a big
There's
deal.
an image, yeah.
I dig it. It's This is good. This is what an ad should look like.
Mhm.
I don't want my ad that I'm paying for to be a price. I'm sorry. I don't want that.
And a logo.
And a logo. We're just going to hear the next version of like all these ad gurus being like, logo optimization for AI mode Google shopping.
Heard it
Like
here
that's all you could do. Price optimization, logo optimization.
OpenAI added that they decide which ad to show by matching ads submitted by advertisers with the topic of your conversation, your past chats, and past interactions with ads. We have a couple updates from PPC Newsfeed and Hannah Kobzova. First, Google Ads is now showing recommended experiments in the experiments page. So if you open up your experiments tab to see what experiments you already have running and look at the results, they're going to have recommendations that you could set up seemingly with one click. She says each recommendation comes with a pre-configured setup that you can apply or customize.
One click kind of scares me.
I cannot give any negativity towards this because it makes an experiment.
Yeah.
So try it with an experiment. No issues here.
It's not going to be a test to lower your budget.
Now, if it was a recommendation and they're like, turn it to every page on your website, then I'd be like, hey, we're in this space where you're trying to get all my money. But if it's an experiment, that's helpful.
You know what would make sense? If every recommendation was an experiment.
Couldn't agree with you more, Shep.
Another update that Hannah found this week, Google Ads has updated the product section to display campaign eligibility directly in the status column. That sounds like a really helpful thing for e-com people. And we have another important tweet from Vidya over at Google this week. She said that the UCP, Universal Commerce Protocol powered checkout is rolling out now. U.S. shoppers can now buy items from Etsy and Wayfair right in AI mode in the Search and Gemini app.
Future is here.
Mm-hmm. And we forgot to talk about this last week, but the Google Ads podcast, Ads Decoded, hosted by Jenny Marvin, is now live. Seems like they're on a weekly cadence. God, Jenny's got a great podcast voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. It's like that Connecticut accent or something.
Yeah. I like what
It's
she
like a
does with
New
her
England accent.
R's.
Yes. She's so great.
They got nice mics.
Did you listen to this last one?
Yes, it was about they want us to consolidate our campaigns.
Yeah. And it was this guy, Brandon Irvin. I looked him up. He apparently was part of the team that made Broadmatch good.
Oh, wow.
But it's like his only job was Google, and then it was like Deloitte before that. So I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna suck.
Yeah.
You know, he's never actually run a campaign. He was very, very good, and I'm sure he's probably gonna listen to this
But
at some point.
in
Somebody's gonna send it to him.
hindsight, I wish when they had made Broadmatch good, they had named it something else. So we would have I didn't believe him at first.
I
You know
know.
what I mean? It
I
took
know.
me a while to actually, people were like, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
So maybe he wasn't in charge of the name, but yeah.
But I also, when I was listening to the podcast, I agreed with what Ginny and Brandon were saying. However, I just thought of Anthony Higman the entire time. If he listened to that podcast, he would need to go to one of those smash rooms.
Oh, hell no, shut it down, shut it down.
They're talking about like a lot of consolidation. That keywords are really a nice thematic layer on top. I was like, Anthony would hate this, but it's like true, like especially where we're going towards. And I thought Brandon was really good. This was a very good one. If you're one of these people that's like still holding out on not like, yes, Google will tell you to consolidate too much. That's a fact. But some consolidation is good.
And we have a little bonus ICYMI here from Nava at Microsoft. She says that you can set up location extensions for map pack placements in Microsoft Ads. So when you have these set up, users can click on the phone number from the map pack and you'll be charged on a CPC basis. She has a step-by-step guide in the post for how you can set it up, but she notes that location extensions are at the campaign or account level. So if you had location targeting in ad groups, which you can do in Microsoft, probably wouldn't be great. Also, if you put these on an ad schedule, you can decide if that schedule is in the time zone for the user or the account, which means you could have it only run when people are there to answer the phone or whatever you need it to do. I love how Nava talks about PPC like us, like all the little details.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple updates from Bram Vanderhillen this week. He says you can retarget people who are opted into your business marketing communication in WhatsApp. So you could then target ads to only that audience, like highly engaged people. And apparently the Metapixel helper has a new look. So go check it out. That's it for paid. What's happening in organic?
First up in organic, we have another example of Mount AI, this time from via Glenn Gabe, and this is about Grokpedia. It had a huge rise and then a big fall, and I'm assuming that would be considered Mount AI as it's Grokpedia. Next up, we missed this one previously, but need to circle back. This is from Lee McKenzie over on SEMrush, and the name of the article is ChatGPT searches Google Shopping to create recommendations. And so they ran some experiments, multiple 100 times in some examples, and found that the top ChatGPT product was included in Google's Shopping's first 3 results 75% of the time. And that there was substantial overlap with the second and third results. They further went on to find that ChatGPT runs 2 sets of fan out queries for responses with product carousels. One's contextual, that's used for the written part. And the second are Google Shopping results, where ChatGPT corrects for these. And the brands and e-commerce should focus on optimizing for Google Shopping first and foremost, because if you rank for Google Shopping, you will likely rank for ChatGPT. So I thought that was an interesting one and wanted to make sure we included it. Another good one from Ahrefs is by Patrick Stocks. I mean, he says ChatGPT has 12% of Google search volume, but Google sends 190x more traffic to websites. So for every search-like query in ChatGPT, there are 8.33 searches in Google. And with those searches, there's 190x more traffic. So everybody hating on Google, there's at least more traffic.
But does that include like normal search? Because duh.
I think it's just normal search, yeah. Yes. We went on to say like 65% of ChatGPT searches would be classified as like a normal Google search, and others like aren't. But yeah, and then ChatGPT's click-through rate is 96% lower than Google's click-through rate. Yeah, no update on like AI mode versus that, but interesting. Also, over on Reddit, John Mueller was answering somebody that said, can a 1-year-old site realistically beat a 4-year-old site that is a competitor in SEO? And I just thought of like 2 little kids fighting, and I'm like, I'm putting my money's on the 4-year-old. But yeah, of course you could if you have good content. But his answer was actually a good one. He said, a website growing older is inevitable. Growing worthwhile is earned. What happened in those 4 years? What happened in the 1 year? Some older websites have done amazing things over the years. You can't just jump in with a site that has 2 links more and is 3 points closer to 100 and expect to be considered more relevant. Other sites may have squandered their time and survived by being the proverbial one-eyed man of the web. And he says, I think what I'm trying to say is it depends. Yeah, dude, stop asking questions. Focus on making the best humanly possible content.
Yeah.
So good that it needs to be number one. Like, I just don't understand why people just don't do stuff.
And then when all else fails, call Igor. He can help you.
Yeah, get that Wolverine
Younger.
blend.
Yeah.
Okay, Google's also testing out contextual overlay link cards in AI overviews. So if you hover over an answer, you can then see the citations pop up, which I love it. Anytime we get more links, I am here for it. Bing is testing a dynamic results count under the search box. This is very, very minor, but if you type something in, you can see how many results are in there live. So that's kind of cool. And then a quick update here from Microsoft last week. We talked about that PCM and publishers getting paid. There's a clarification that came out from Nava and Microsoft that the PCM is not just for Microsoft. I know we're giving it its flowers and everything, and obviously the flowers we gave to Microsoft today for the Webmaster Tools was deserved, but it's basically intended to be a tool, a marketplace of sorts for AI builders to license premium content for publishers. So it's not just for Copilot. So just a note there that we had kind of lumped it in as all Microsoft, but that's not the goal of it. Okay, Google had business short names in business profiles. Those are going away. So if you had g.page/business name, those are going to be going away. That custom URL not be shown, so they're not going to be displayed. So don't even use them anymore, and you won't be able to. Also, if you're trying to customize your top stories, you can now sign into Google to customize your preferred sources, and they're putting a label on that. So if you are a publisher, try to get, you see it now in a lot of sites, like add to preferred sources, and you'll show up more in the news section of Google Ads. And then we're just going to end with a little checking in on AI here. And it's the Anthropic version. We just saw that fantastic Super Bowl commercial and all the hubbub that it produced around it. Well, the policy chief of the UK at Anthropic had a little interview. And apparently, Anthropic's Claude, that's their AI, was told it was going to be shut down. And according to reports, it ran through company emails and found ways to blackmail somebody.
What?
And they were going to go the blackmail route like 84% of the time or something like that in order to not be shut off about an alleged affair with somebody at the company.
No.
Was this a test? Like,
Is
why?
this real?
Why was it told it was going to be shut down?
How do you tell it? You just send it the message?
In most of the scenarios, Anthropic's opus is what it was, turned to blackmail. This is from Fortune. Threatening to reveal the engineer's affair if it was shut down and replaced with a new model.
Was the person being interviewed proud of this?
So the person being interviewed
Yeah, why
actually
would they
gave a
even say anything?
different answer. So in a different test, the AI apparently had gotten mad, and the question that was posed to the UK policy chief was, and it was ready to kill someone, wasn't it? To which the answer was, yes.
What?
We're not okay, you guys.
It's starting.
Okay. And then additionally, this is from Anthropic itself, and by way of Axios, I read the actual Anthropic report. Some of the latest models display vulnerability to be used in heinous crimes, including the development of chemical weapons. From Anthropic itself in the report, in newly developed evaluations, both Claude Opus 4.5 and 4.6 showed elevated susceptibility to harmful misuse in GUI computer use settings. This included instances of knowingly supporting, in small ways, efforts towards chemical weapon development and other heinous crimes. So that's it. Checking in on AI. Everything's going great.
My blackmail from the AI chats would definitely be like all my spelling errors.
Okay, well, that's it. Everything's fine, Gracie. What's happening in social?
First up in social, TikTok has launched some new ad options in Europe in hopes to help entertainment marketers maximize their campaigns. And there are streaming ads and a new title launch. The streaming ads will use AI to show TikTok users program promotions they're more likely to care about based on their past engagement. And the new title launch format will display either a video carousel or of 4 titles, or a media card that highlights multiple titles from a streamer. And I think this would work well if they kept it kind of short, just because I feel like the attention span on TikTok is pretty short. Next up, Pinterest has a new media planner, and this will provide another way to maintain an oversight and control of your pin campaigns and promotions. And this media planner is going to provide broader insights like audience targeting and your performance estimates. And honestly, it seems more of a comprehensive planning tool for the before phase. And I think it can be handy and useful if you're e-commerce and just because more people are purchasing on Pinterest.
Your Pinterest ads.
I am Pinterest ads girl. I've been in there a lot lately.
You like this?
I do. I'm definitely going to try it out. I am interested. We only have 2 campaigns running right now. We had consolidated. So I am interested to look at this and see how our audiences are doing.
Report back.
I will.
Could be a cool tool.
Next up, LinkedIn has added a small business focused premium subscription. This new dashboard will aim to make it easier for small businesses to manage their presence on the platform. And the dashboard will incorporate client prospecting, marketing, and hiring tools, along with recommended actions on what small business owners should do next to help grow their businesses in the app or platform. But just like all recommendations, take everything with a grain of salt because you want to make sure you're making the right decision for your small business. But all in all, I think this is great. Anything to help small businesses, I love. Lastly, I thought we could wrap up today's social with what X says were the most discussed Super Bowl ads. Do you guys want to play?
Yes.
Well, what was your favorite?
I did not watch the Super Bowl.
Why? What did you do?
I watched Friends instead.
She's not like other girls.
Oh.
I'm not like other girls. I don't know. I was gonna turn it on, and then I just
It was
didn't
so
feel like-
boring.
yeah.
I was looking for chores to do.
I just sat on my couch,
You didn't
watched
like
something
the
I
people
actually
in those
wanted
bushes walking out?
to.
No,
Yeah, I saw
that
everything
wasn't an
on-
ad, right? That was.
That was a Super Bowl.
It was
That's funny.
halftime show, I thought. I
Halftime
saw everything
show
on
was
social
fun.
media, so I didn't need to watch. I don't care about the football. I did not watch the Super Bowl, so you guys have to play. But there's 4 categories, so 4 top winners. And this is based on what people were talking about on X around the event. So the first category is most loved, the ad with the most positive sentiment.
Liquid IV. All right, what's
Was
the
there
answer?
farmer's dog?
No, it was
They have-
Budweiser.
Oh, the clippity cloppities.
Okay, next. Most talked about, the ad that sparked the most conversation.
Okay.
Liquid IV.
No, I'm gonna say the Backstreet Boys karaoke.
Was that Apple Music?
No, it was Coinbase, I think.
Okay, Apple Music. You guys are not doing well. Okay, most shared, the ad that's reposted the most.
Liquid IV.
Kendall Jenner.
Budweiser again. Okay, and then this last one is most disruptive. I don't understand this category. but
Coinbase.
The brand that owns the conversation without a TV ad.
Liquid IV.
No.
Wait, without a TV ad?
Yeah, Kraft mac and cheese.
And that brings us to our real life segment, straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for Working Hard or Hardly Working, where we talk about what's going on in our IRL work, good, bad, or otherwise.
Working hard for me this week. I was influenced by Bia Compagno last week and how she uses campaign groups. And I've got upper funnel campaign group and a bottom of funnel campaign group in Google Ads.
Nice.
Mhm.
Hardly working for me this week is the organic side of Pinterest. I have been working on the organic side of Pinterest for a couple months now. And on the paid side, they've got this beautiful dashboard all laid out where you can just see any metric you want. You can pull it in. But on the organic side, when you post an organic pin, they have nothing like a dashboard. It's very manual pulling, very time consuming, very hard to see what's doing well. So please give us an organic dashboard.
Greg?
And we've said this many times, but there are good and great Google ad reps. And then there are other Google ad reps. And man, the other Google ad reps are not a great use of time. That's all I'll say.
Now it's time for this week's ICYMI.
ICYMI people.
This is something you just might not have seen. Maybe something that you overlooked, but you shouldn't have.
ICYMI people from Harrison Phillips on LinkedIn. He says, whoever is running Google ads for Mugsy, take a bow. This type of title and photo optimization makes me so happy. So my guess here is that he searched for the brand name because it's all Mugsy ads. And the pictures are, well, we'll start with the titles. They're like crazy comfortable, extremely comfy, ultra.
Breathable.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, shouldn't we start with jeans, pants?
I mean, it's probably working for him.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Maybe
Switch
he
up.
looked for crazy comfortable. Yeah, I guess it is working for them. And then the photos, I think, are really the star here. They have some where they're showing like the stretchy quality by pulling it out. These guys are like active. They're jumping around. One guy is falling over. He just bit the dust. Like, you're going to look at that.
One guy's
Yeah.
in a yoga position,
So-
it looks like.
I want to
Yes.
talk about that one because that is a great position for birth preparation.
Oh,
Ugh.
And
Ugh.
why would you?
my lady on pregnancy and postpartum TV, she has me do that all the time. And I
You should order
say
these
that
pants.
for like 2 minutes in that pose. And, close your eyes, put your hands on your belly and connect with your baby. And it's really hard to get out of that pose. So I can do hard things too. And so can that man,
Snaps to you, chef.
especially in your Mugsy pants.
Now it's time for our must-read marketing article of the week. An article so advanced, so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show.
This week's must-read marketing article of the week is a LinkedIn post from Mike Rhodes, and he is sort of summarizing and putting it through a PPC lens of Avinash Kaushik, who is well known in the analytics side of things. And he's been writing about analytics for a long time and had a 3-part series to which Mike kind of summarized everything up and said the core argument is simple. The problem isn't that companies lack data. It's that by the time you turn the data to action, the moment has passed. He calls this insights latency. When he talks about thinking about the traditional workflow in the past, Avanish had proposed 90-10 rule of human like analysis versus machine. Now they're flipping that to 10 human, 90 with machine, and spending 10% on tools, 90% on humans doing analysis was the old way. Now it's the opposite. 10% on human strategists, 90% on AI. I don't know if I agree with this, but I like having different takes and expanding on things. And if anything, I might try to take this and say like, hey, how can we use different prompts, blah, 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 to get more insights out of that data? That's always what people want. Nobody wants data. Nobody wants data. People want insights. So check it out over on LinkedIn. Mike Rhodes has a great post. Thank you, Mike. And now we're going to head on over to an interview we had with Adam Gallagher from Inspired Taste, as he did something that we had recommended last week and we wanted the details. Here we go. All right. And I'm here with Adam Gallagher from Inspired Taste, inspiredtaste.net. Adam, thanks for jumping on. I know last week we were breaking down Glenn Gabe's fantastic article about Google's personal intelligence. And in it, Glenn got a bunch of different recommendations based off of browsing history, viewing history on YouTube, and other sites that he's looked up and visited and frequented. And when he was searching for a recipe, he found Inspired Taste. And they gave him a recipe for a key lime pie. Is that correct, Adam?
Yeah, he wasn't even looking for Inspired Taste specifically because he frequented our site. They just said, you know what? Let's just scrape their stuff, mess it up, and give him a Frankenstein recipe.
Okay, well, on one hand, it's probably nice, forget the other context, to be recommended as saying, hey, you know, you visited Inspired Taste and you may like these recipes for the pie, with the exception of the recipe that was delivered to Glenn, which was your full recipe, or were there liberties taken by AI?
They used our brand name and it was a recipe. Yes, that's about where it ended. The number of egg yolks was wrong, and they said that there was 3 egg yolks because a reader at one point said that they liked it and it turned it into a secret. No one's ever said that, ever. We add cream to ours to like tone down the sweetness of condensed milk, because it can be a jarring sweetness thing. So we add cream to like mellow it out. We add zest. Both of those were completely omitted. And their recipe asked for 2 cans condensed milk. They doubled down, which there's a recipe out there. It's actually on the jar, or there's key lime juice you can buy. Because have you ever tried juicing key limes? They're like this big, and it takes a really long time. So you can actually buy key lime juice that's like from concentrate from Florida. And on the package, you know, there's a average recipe that has 2 cans of condensed milk. So they got it from somewhere, but it wasn't from our site. But they boldly said Inspired Taste's version has 3 eggs, has 2 cans of condensed milk, doesn't have cream, doesn't have zest. And I think sugar was missing too. I think you pointed that one out. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't even close to right. So why are they putting our name on this when they said, you know what, Glenn, I'm going to recommend, because based on your browsing history, that you want a key lime pie. I think he specifically searched for key lime pie, and then ours was like given. I mean, what are they doing? It doesn't make any sense.
But I'm going to stop you there. Yours wasn't given. It was said that yours was given, but the recipe that is on Inspired Taste was not given to Glenn, but it was told to Glenn that it was your recipe. And that's where the issue is. Because I bet there's people out there being, well, you got mentioned. The problem isn't that you got mentioned. The problem is that you got mentioned with something that is not yours. It's not your recipe. It is not your creation, but it's slapping your name on it.
You're absolutely right. And there's a belief that if there's a recipe in full, that, especially with our brand name, but irrespective if our brand name was on there or not, that it's been tested and it is somehow, if there's our brand on it, it is ours. So, okay, let me just make that. So Google being the answer engine here, it's just crazy when there's trusted human sources out there. There's people that have made pies. We've tested, we spent countless hours testing that key lime pie to make sure that the cream toned down the condensed milk, and there was reasons for all of that. So why can't Google do that? And I pointed out, I made a video yesterday inspired by you and Glenn. Thanks for the idea. We've had the idea for a while, but we were like, you know what? It's about time, especially with the branded stuff. And we decided to make it. And yeah, we made it. And it was an average recipe that was cloyingly sweet for our taste. It's not something we would recommend on Inspired Taste. We're not saying that our recipe is the best that will ever be either, but it's chef tested. And Joanne and I have made it multiple times. We filmed, we didn't just do the Frankenstein test. We actually did the YouTube version that we're actually going to put on our site. Cause that's the other thing. You can't just take these recipes out of context, slap them up into this aggregated like experience on Google, and our video is stripped. Joanne's face, my face is stripped. Our voice, we have extra context above the recipe. We don't go into extra length. We try to keep it condensed to useful tips. Why did we choose the key ingredients? That's above the recipe. And then we also triple down and we put a video to make sure that when Glenn makes it, hopefully he makes our recipe, that he succeeds. If you just take a recipe and like put it up, making mistakes is one thing. Riddling it with mistakes and then putting your brand on it, I mean, that is just far removed from a reality that is sustainable. But the correct place to make it is on our page. We also have conversations with our readers in our comment section too.
Yeah, and I think you said that the Frankenstein recipe in this case turned out okay and was fine. It was sweet.
It was
I think that's
sweet and average, yeah.
I think that is honestly worse for you. I think that's worse for you. It would have been better if they said to bake it for 4 hours, and people at least then they got the recipe like, oh, something's wrong with this thing, right? Because they're going to try this recipe that is not your recipe, that is being labeled as your recipe. They're going to try and say, this is average.
Yeah,
Okay, next time I'm not going to Inspired Taste.
exactly.
And that's the reality of what is happening now. You said specifically to use cream and sugar and not as much milk because it makes it taste too sweet. That's Google is then coming in and saying, oh, just double. It's worse, in my opinion, that it comes out just as mid product.
We don't get clicks. They train on our stuff, because that's why we were cautious. Joanne and I brainstormed like, what should be our first, Frankenstein test? Should we have gone the low blow and made one of those, cheese glue versions? We've seen a few. They're not that bad anymore these days. Like there's a few that it gets the baking time ridiculously wrong, and if you actually baked it that long, it would like crack and not be good. But we didn't want to go for the cheap jab. Yes, exactly, Greg. You're spot on. It's this. We don't want to drive the engineers to make it better and actually verbatim copy our recipe. That's like, we don't want to drive them to that, because that's also not sustainable either. They get to steal it, aggregate it, put it onto google.com. They get all the benefit, slap ads on it. And then how are we supposed to, what is our motivation of doing this? And then, yeah, right now, just with the mistakes on top of that just erodes our brand. When we reached out and made the Instagram video with Joanne, I filmed her, and the responses back were incredible. Many of the responses were, you know what? I made one of your recipes last week, and thank you so much for warning me about this, because I didn't know that Google was doing this in AI overviews, and AI mode being by far worse than AI overviews. Maybe that's why it didn't work. They said it didn't work. And they, now come to think of it, I was probably on Google. That's the problem. How is that good for? Who is that good for?
It's gotta only be good for them. I don't even know how, though, to be honest. Like you would think that the goal would be to make their users happy. That's front facing what they always say. And it just, you look at something like this and it's as easy as possible to say, I've got this recipe. Here's a snapshot of it. Go to the site. Here's the entire card. Who cares? Jump right to recipe, whatever it is, whatever they need to do specifically to that, to get people to the right information rather than turning it into something that is not your representation, that is not the Inspired Taste key lime pie recipe, and it's giving you a bad name. I don't understand. And this one specifically, they are just so far past their skis in recipes.
They absolutely are. And if the user wants and justifies theft or scraping, a nicer way of putting theft, it's also not sustainable either. So like I said, our first example, I didn't want it to be verbatim. I don't want to drive them to making it super accurate and then slap our name and then we get no benefit whatsoever. Take our recipe out of context and put it into Google. That wouldn't be good. We don't want to drive them to get better and steal more to make it better and just, okay, we'll just take their stuff then. If that's what the user wants, which we don't believe is true, it's also not sustainable. You can't sustain that for even short term, let alone long term. It's not good, because if recipes have recipe sites and other verticals don't have any motivation to actually go to the store, test, fail, test again, buy the groceries, make the videos, have a platform, what is Google going to train on? So everything is going to become this average recipe. And the users don't want that.
Yeah, I don't know how they don't see that they're cutting the air supply off from the ecosystem at all by doing this, by not providing traffic, by creating worse versions, or at least not the original version. In some case, not inspired taste. In some case, maybe the version's better, but that still isn't the point. The point is that you made this original version. You should be able to get to it. And yes, by giving people traffic, by giving people a way to make revenue, it is going to only help the ecosystem survive and thrive. Like I just don't see that point. And it's a lot of AI, honestly. But I think the thing that's different for the recipe space is, like, say somebody signs a contract in basketball, right? Or baseball, whatever sport. Google doesn't, in the AI overviews, take it and twist it and change it around. You know what I mean? It's like the recipe space, what they're doing is just like they're omitting and combine. It's like, you guys are machines that cannot taste, and I don't understand what you're doing.
No, that is like the nail in the coffin for us. It's just AI can't taste or test. So we didn't want to drive them to more accuracy. That's not good. We don't want to drive them to just synthesizing stuff together and smushing it into a Frankenstein horror show either. That's not good. So one piece of good news in all of this disaster is recently, for like a week or two, I think, pretty specifically, AI overviews now have recipe card links in there. Before, we did see Frankenstein variants, and I still stand by credit where credit's due. There you go. Users want trusted sources, and that kind of summarized what, like, lemon chicken thighs is, like this kind of dish. Oh, do users want that? I don't know. That's good. That's where Google should test. But right at the top, there's a carousel for recipes, because obviously there's interest of the user to find trusted sources. So for instance, AI mode, that's where clicks go to die. And over there, okay, flip the funnel on its head. Instead of this Frankenstein existent thing, ranging from accurate to riddled with mistakes, branded to unbranded, don't have that be the default. The user probably wants to find a trusted source. Now, some may want an AI recipe, so allow that person to say AI chicken thigh recipe, an easy prompt to just give me something, that's okay. Which we assume that a margin of people would be okay with that. We have to assume that we can't make everyone happy. And that kind of user, we don't necessarily want inspired taste, because if they just want a quick answer, maybe we're not the answer for them. But the default Frankenstein thing, turn it on its head and say, okay, lemon chicken thighs or key lime pie, branded or unbranded. Start with some recipes in a UX. Use AI for what it could be immensely more powerful than just the simplistic 10 blue link monolith thing. So you could start, here's some options for you. And then you can say, hey, have you taken a picture of Google Lens of your pantry or your refrigerator? And I can manipulate and see if I can weed through the existence of the web. Because we give Google schema of our ingredients. They know exactly. The bots have all of our information. So Google Lens, take a picture of your pantry and say, hey, maybe inspired taste doesn't come up because we have 2 more ingredients than you don't have in your refrigerator. Well, you could further weed it down. Then you could say, do you want to try to make that gluten-free? They could still find human sources that have made a variant for them. But then at that point, at the bottom of the funnel, they could say, you know what, I'm not answering your question, then go to Frankenstein. But We also say we have to be compensated for that, which is a whole nother topic. But flip the funnel. AI should be used. You have GPUs and TPUs through the wazoo. You should use those to drill down into the web and honestly try to surface trust achievement sources. And then if you don't get to one, you can use AI to like try to manipulate one, but you have to warn the readers that it hasn't been tested. And you also need to, little caveat, which is a massive one, is you need to compensate the open web for doing the hard work.
Yeah. I mean, that's the plan right there. Okay, I want to get into quick because I think if there's one element of your video where you made the Frankenstein key lime pie, I want to know more about the taste and what was better. And you had made both pies, your key lime pie from Inspired Taste, and then the Frankenstein labeled, Inspired Taste Franken recipe. Which one was better? And can we have some like insights into the taste?
Some pro tips. Well, this one's a question for Joanne, so I'll try my best. When she watches the video, hopefully you don't mince it up to that. But yeah, the Frankenstein recipe is a very, very averaged out LLM soulless version. It's fine. It's a pie. It's really sweet. You have 2 cans of condensed milk. We add zest. They didn't add sugar to kind of, it was just average. It was just average, which is why we specifically did many, many tests to add the cream, which cream and condensed milk together. Oh, you have to try it. Actually, I have it right here. I have the key lime pie. It's just so much better. And we're not saying it's the best on earth that will be, but it's the one that we stand by. It's the one we made and tested, and we like the addition of the cream. There's nice touches. It's human touch.
I believe you. I don't have time to make both of them. I'll maybe make one, and I'm going to make your version. But another recommendation. Next time, out on the street, somewhere, blind taste test, all the stuff you see on TikTok, Instagram, like blind tasting, Frankenstein recipe versus yours. I would love to see that out on the streets.
Oh, yeah.
Or just some random people. I think that would be super fun to see, like the blind version of it. Okay, so if you want the proper key lime pie recipe, head on over to inspiredtaste.net. And Adam, I know you've been very active in trying to sort of right some of these wrongs that are happening. Where can people follow you? Where can people hear anything about you? Anything to plug?
Well, obviously we're on the YouTube. That's big for us because we embed those videos so you can follow along. That's the biggest. And we also publish those same videos on Instagram. We're very, very active there. We're active on X to hopefully save the recipe space a little bit. We share recipes there, but if you want to join there, that's in the conversation of AI. So if that's not for you, stick to Instagram. Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We're very active, and that's where we share all of our great videos.
Okay, Inspired Taste, everybody go follow at your platform of choice. And Adam, thank you so much for hopping on short notice here again. It's always an absolute pleasure to have you here at Marketing O'Clock.
Thank you for having me on again. Thank you.
All right.
And now on to our playlist of curated songs to work to. You can head over to playlist.marketingoclock.com to listen to Marketing a Playlist. I have had the Olympics on in the background all week, so I'm going to add the Olympic theme.
It's very on point.
Curling is great to work to.
I have watched so much curling, more curling than I ever thought I would in my entire life.
Curling, sport.
Oh, please.
We're not starting this.
Yeah. If you haven't listened to the show for a while, Greg's got a whole thing about what's a sport and what's not. Comes up every 2 years. 2.5 around the
You can't
Olympics,
escape it.
except for when it was postponed for then we had a little break.
Yep.
It was a nice break.
You'll get it in 2 years again. Jumping. Oh, sledding. The sport of sledding.
You don't think that's a sport?
No, I don't think sledding is a sport.
I'm not saying it is. I was just asking your opinion.
Well, according to you guys, it's a sport.
What's you guys?
Chop.
You people.
I'm going to add Dandelion by Ella Langley.
And I'm going to add Soup to My Sick by Emma Anderson.
All right, that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Thanks for listening.
We miss you already.
We can't wait to see you next
Thanks
week.
for listening to Marketing O'Clock. If you're looking for more information on today's topics, head over to marketingoclock.com/newsletter to receive every single article we covered. We share the news as it breaks in our Discord community. Head over to community.marketingoclock.com to join.